June is Pride Month, a time to celebrate and to reflect on the LGBTQIA plus community. Today, we take a closer look at how inclusive South African workplaces are for the community employees, looking at the progress made, the challenges still faced, and what more can be done to ensure everyone feels safe and valued at work. Helping us to unpack this further is Thato Morailane, co-founder of Rainbow Unity Networks, an organization advocating for LGBTQIA plus rights based in Qwaqwa in the Free State. Thato, thank you so much for your time and a very good afternoon to you. So as Pride Month, places a spotlight on the LGBTQIA plus rights and the recognition, I want us to talk about inclusivity in the workplace particularly. I mean, how far do you think the country has gone to ensure there is inclusiveness, that there is representation for particularly people in the LGBTQI plus community in the workplace?
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me, Nati. Gosh. Do we have enough time?
Yeah.
It needs a lot. But we first must acknowledge that we stay in a country where we have one of the best constitutions. So that work has been done for us. And that gives us privilege over a lot of African countries and many other countries. Work is going on. Inclusivity has become, I suppose it's different for everybody as well as to where you are at that current time when it's being spoken about. Big brands in big cities have managed to start showing inclusivity in their programming, in their campaigning and all of that. When you come back to where I am in the rural areas, we still lead with a lot of don't tell, don't ask policies, where things, when you're sitting from outside, they just look like they are okay, but once you are in, they're not. But to be honest, there's progress. We must just fight for implementation of laws to make it all work for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to touch on that point. I mean, it is a difficult and probably complex one, to talk about the fact that whilst these laws are there, it does not necessarily mean that they are practiced, particularly when you look at areas like Qwaqwa, where your organization is. You called it more rural. I'd also say more conservative. I mean, how difficult does that become then for people to start navigating and to living freely as they ought to?
Yeah, it is. It's still a bit difficult. We have a lot of patriarchy that we're dealing with, and what's the right word to use for this? Everyday life is okay. We've got different stories that could be told. I personally have not experienced any form of homophobia towards me directly, but there is still a lot of people going through that. There's still issues in schools where people would say, but I'm more comfortable with this type of uniform. And it would have to be a whole thing. We'll have to have the chiefs involved, the priests and everybody. So till we try and get people into the same room, but the patriarchy also still rules and takes away, what's the word? Takes away what needs to be done. People can't be themselves because it will take away their social standing in places. So they don't want to stand or be associated with what is it that LGBTI rights needs to be forced because they don't want their secrets to come out or they don't want to be associated with it, plain and simple.
Yeah.
But organizations like this, you get there and you realize that other people are homophobic because they do not have information. Other people is just a choice of not accepting what they don't understand and they not giving it a chance.
Yeah.
So it's one day at a time, other days 1 hour at a time.
Yeah, perhaps the word you were looking for, Thato, is agency. But I want to start now and look more in terms of the work that you do as RUN, a Rainbow Unity Network. I mean, you work a lot with the communities that advocate, for LGBTQIA plus rights. I mean, what role do organizations like yours play in bridging that gap between corporate South Africa, corporate commitments, and just real life lived experiences, particularly when you look at the younger generation that are now entering that job space?
With our organization being a small organization in a rural area, when we all started I think this is where the name Unity came from. We wanted to bring unity to the community itself because it had nowhere to run. We were looking for a place where people knew they can go be themselves and live their truth. We were creating a safe space, a platform where you get to have your brothers and sisters who will be there for you when time needs, because people deal with the fact that after you come out as queer, you lose your family, and nobody's talking about that, which is everyday things. We are all looking at what is corporate doing, but not investing enough on teaching our families and loved ones what acceptance is. And I think it's so sad that we all live with a lot of tolerance that we have normalized to think it's what love is. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But like I say, there's still a lot of work to be done. But we must be here to always remember the past, embrace the future, and celebrate where we are currently as a nation. Conversations need to happen. We need to get people into one rooms. People with I don't want to say power. Is it power? But the seats that are being offered around the table, they need to be given to people who understand their role in changing society.
Yeah.
This would be chiefs, priests, doctors, and people like that. Everybody with a social standing in society needs to be involved.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine was laughing at me the other day saying, I'm tired of walking into these rooms and I'm being asked what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing anything to the table because I'm the table itself.
Absolutely.
It's time the world stood up and looked at us and learned that we need to be accepted and celebrated like everybody else.
Absolutely.
And it's 30 years down the line with the amazing constitution that we have. Should we still be having the problems that we are facing and dealing with now?
Yeah, Thato, I mean, all very poignant and good questions. We have run out of time, but thank you so much for your time. And I think I'm going to hang on to those two words that you've just mentioned now, and that is acceptance and love. And as you say, charity does indeed begin at home. Perhaps that also needs to start there. But thank you so much, Thato, for your time. Thato Morailane is the co-founder of Rainbow Unity and Networks as we speak about and highlight June being Pride Month this month.